Hey everybody, Cornfed Lady here, and today I want to give you a little update on how our gardens are doing, because last night we actually had a pretty nasty set of storms come through, and we did receive a little bit of damage to our garden, but it's nothing detrimental. So come on, let me show you. Okay, so I've already kind of shown you the potato bed and it's doing just fine. These plants were already kind of flopping over just due to the age that they're at right now. So this is not from the storm. This is just what potatoes do when they get older. The carrots are doing fine. Again, these are the scarlet nantes, and you can see they're sown in pretty thick. That's how I like to do it. Now, some of these carrots will get large and be good for eating whole. Some of them will be just kind of skinny, and I like throwing those in the crock pot just because they cook up nice and easy. The pinto beans are coming in nicely. This is where the lettuce row had failed. So sometimes you'll have things that just don't take, and that's okay. You know, don't get stressed out about it. I had lettuce planted in here. It never grew. I didn't freak out. I just planted some more lettuce seeds. Those didn't grow. Still didn't freak out. Went in and got some pinto beans and I planted those in. So this is actually the third planting of this row before we actually finally got something growing, which is why they're kind of smaller than the rest of the plants in here. But sometimes you'll have challenges like that and you just need to kind of adjust what you're doing. Next up, we've got spinach. Spinach is doing really well. And then after the spinach is the cabbage. The cabbage has bolted and gone to flower. Now, I did at first try just kind of breaking off those flower bolts, but over time they've just gotten more prevalent. So the cabbage has bolted, which means that it will start tasting more and more bitter as the summer goes on, because leafy greens are sensitive to heat. So once they've gotten too hot in the summer, they'll start bolting, which means they throw up their flowers, and that kind of makes the leaves turn a little bit bitter in flavor. So we're about done with the cabbage here. And next to that, we've got some purple kale. This was supposed to be blue curled Scotch, but it's not. It's some kind of reddish, purplish kale. It's really pretty. I like how it has these kind of pink veins going along it. And it grows really robust, but it's not quite what we ordered. It's okay. The critters still like eating it anyway. And then we've got our green beans. These are the Provider green beans. They kind of did get blown around and knocked around by the wind and storms yesterday. They were nice and tidy and growing straight. Now they're kind of flopping over here and flopping over there. These have started producing beans, and I have already started harvesting and cooking some of these beans. Now, the ones that I can't cook because they're growing more than what we can cook each night, the ones that I don't cook, I put in the freezer, and we'll save those to use throughout the rest of the year. Okay, next to the green beans is some yellow wax beans, and again, they got kind of decimated by the storms last night. So some of them are broken over, some of them are completely broken off. The yellow wax beans have also started producing, and you can see some in here. So these are just like the green bean, only they're yellow. So when I'm making dinner, we have a mix of green and yellow beans, which looks really nice on the plate. And the third row of beans here is called Dragon's Tongue. Now, I have not yet seen any beans on these plants, so I'm guessing that they're just kind of growing a little slower. They took a little bit, oh, I take that back. Here is some beans. They did take a little bit of damage in the wind, and you can see these beans are kind of different. They're actually like white colored with a purple speckle on them. Here's another one. Let's go around the other side. So here you can see a few of them. I'm gonna go ahead and pick some of these. You see it's white with purple. It's a really vibrant looking bean. That'll look pretty in with the green and yellow ones. This is the first I've seen of these. And this is the first year that we've grown this type of bean. So we're new to the Dragon's Tongue. Now, I did get a comment when I planted these beans from someone who has grown them before, and they said that they're really good. So So we're looking forward to trying these. Might have to try some of these tonight. So that was actually a really exciting, kind of fun thing for me to find here that I was not expecting. The next thing up on our list here that I wanted to show you is the snap pea row. Now the snap pea row has already gotten some reinforcement before this storm, so I put in a couple extra posts and strings, but it still struggled during the storm. Now all of this was standing straight up off of the line, and you can see it's all kind of flopping over now. And this one on the end here is actually completely fallen down. It's broken off right here. You can see where it broke off. So this part's no longer going to grow. I'm going to have to go ahead and take that out. Now that part did have some, oh, here's another broken one. There's a couple of broken ones in there. Let's see if there's any snap peas I can salvage. Yeah, they're still pretty small. I'll just give these to the pigs. They'll enjoy the little fresh treat. So the snap peas got kind of beat up a little, but they'll be okay. They'll still produce plenty of peas for us. You can see there's still a wall of green growing there with plenty of peas on it already still. So we do have a bunch of snap peas. I've been harvesting off of this almost daily just to keep up with the snap peas that it's producing. So these are actually doing really well. Even though they took a little beating, they'll be just fine. Now after that, we've got some tomato rows. This first row is Romas. The Romas are all doing fine. They're growing tall and bushy. I have not yet seen the Romas flowering, but they're coming in pretty nicely, and they didn't get messed up by the storm too much. Now that being said, the cherry tomato row did kind of take some damage. So you can see we've got a broken off branch here and here. And this plant is laying down over here. There's actually one on the end here that got blown over in the storm. I tried to stand it back up to help it have a chance, but you can see it's already gone limp. It's dying. So I'm gonna have to remove that one later on today, because they took quite a bit of damage in the cherry tomato row. The Romas held up really well, and the Rutger tomatoes held up fairly well. I think it's because they were a little bit shorter, and the cherry tomatoes were the taller ones, so that's why they got knocked around a little more. And our bell pepper sprouts are doing just fine. They're coming in nicely. I seeded those in by hand, so they're growing a little slower than the pepper plants behind them that we started in the house. Now they did get blown around a little bit, but they're just fine. And we do have some peppers that are coming in on these. I haven't started harvesting them yet, just because they haven't turned colors yet. Let's see if I can find one to show you. But there are definitely peppers growing in here. Now remember, I told you when I planted these that I actually kind of messed up the labels, and some of these are super like challenge hot, and some of them are just regular hot, and I don't know which ones are which. So we're gonna have a fun pepper eating contest someday when all these come in, and we're gonna see which ones are the super hot ones, and we're gonna have to find out the hard way, I guess. So again, these peppers are coming in, they're doing well, they're growing lush. Have not yet started harvesting, but when we do, I'll make sure to make a video of our little spicy chili eating contest. And on the end here, our watermelons are doing lovely. I've been training them to go out in the yard. For some reason, they always want to try to come back this way, so I've been training the vines to go out this way, where they have more space to grow out and produce all their watermelons. Now, I think the most damage that we received was in our corn patch. Now, this corn patch has been the bane of my gardening this year, let me tell you. I have planted this thing twice already, and I might have to plant it a third time. So you guys, this corn patch just was not meant to be this year. You can see some of it's kind of blown this way. And when I came out here last night, it actually looked like crop circle corn. It was just like laid straight over across the ground. And you can see some of it's still laying pretty low. But it looked like a crop circle. It was all just laying straight over last night. Some of it has stood, most of it actually has stood back up pretty well. I'm actually pretty impressed with that. But we did lose some of the corn in here, which we didn't have much to begin with. It's real sporadic. We got little ones coming in from the second planting. We got some big ones from the first planting. And we've got some that are blown over and broken off from the storm. So you can see these ones are broken off. There's another one back there, it's broken off. This one is still laying on the ground. So the storms did a number on this corn patch, but like I said, this corn patch has been struggling since day one anyway. So it's not like a huge stay up at night and cry myself to sleep big deal. But it's kind of disappointing. Now don't get me wrong, even though this is disappointing, it's not the end of the world. I hear a lot of people freak out about their gardening and say, oh, things are just all going wrong, nothing's going right. And I know the feeling, okay? Like I said, I've planted that corn patch twice already. I may have to plant it a third time. And that lettuce row, I planted twice with lettuce and then actually ended up with pinto beans. So sometimes things happen that are unforeseen, unplanned, unpreventable. And you just kind of have to let those go and go with the flow, okay? Be appreciative of what you do have. Don't worry too much about what you don't have. Try replanting things if you still have time. Like I had someone ask me the other day if there's still time to plant potatoes. It depends on where you live. Potatoes take 3 or 4 months to grow. And so around here, yeah, we'd probably still have time if you do it real quick. And it's the same scenario with my corn patch back there. You know, what do I do? Do I just give up? Do I just say, oh, well, no corn this year, or we're just buying corn this year? Or do I reseed it? Because we do still have a good 3.5 months of growing season, and those sweet corns take about 2.5 months. So I could definitely plant that corn patch again a third time, and I probably will sow some more in there. I don't think I'm gonna like demo the patch and redo the whole thing. I'll probably just put some seeds in between the ones that have had trouble. I was checking out this fruit orchard while I was talking to you, and looks like this one peach that's hanging on this little skinny branch is still there. Even after the strong storms, it's still hanging on. Now, of course, there are some other peaches in here. It's not the only one. There's some good ones on some good branches. But I just wanted to show you some of the things that we experienced during the storm, and to remind you guys to be grateful for what we do have, like these new dragon's tongue beans, and for the things that could be, like we could replant this. We still have time if I feel like I want to. So guys, just remember, if you're growing a garden out there and something bad happens to it, don't give up, don't freak out. Just think about what you can do to fix it or to salvage what's still left, and be grateful for what you do have. So if you plant 10 tomato plants and only one of them grows and produces, you make sure that you appreciate those tomatoes from that one plant. Well, that's just about gonna do it for today's video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. Y'all have a good one. Bye.